Take it away, feeling too good to me. Chilling all day, all in your space is where I wanna be. Here in this room, what did you do? I just can't get enough. Too caught up in your love. I've been trying to forget, but you won't let me. Something in my brain wants you. I've been hanging by myself, asking for help, but nothing seems to work on you.
Good morning, guys. I just woke up. Excuse my face and my hair. I have a hair mask, castor oil in my hair, got some cereal for breakfast, and then I'm gonna call my brother's girlfriend for a chat because it's good time zone back home. It's so hard. You have to like organize a time to like call each other. You can't really just call each other because you go, oh, I'm free, and you go to like look at the time to call them, and it's like 2 in the morning. Good morning, guys, and welcome back to the vlog. I have showered, moisturized, I've got my activewear on, which I love. Funny thing is, no one in London really wears activewear out. I wear it all the time because it's comfy and it's like, I don't have a lot of like fashionable clothes. It's like my go-to, but like back home in Sydney, you wear activewear all the time. So, you know, I'm trying to bring that to London. It's not working, but yeah, so welcome to the vlog, guys. This is gonna be like a day in my life vlog, but I'm gonna be having 5 tips to moving to London. From my experience, because I've had a lot of people reaching out to me being like, how did you move to London? What do you recommend? Yada, yada, yada. And I think I have a lot of knowledge. I've lived in a lot of places. I've lived in 4 different countries and about 8 different cities. So I feel like I can give good tips and sit back, relax, and enjoy this vlog. My first tip for London is save. Like, when you move here, it's so expensive. So you need to come with a lot of money. Most expensive city I've lived in. So I'm gonna do my skincare now. I've got toner. So I just did my figures and I came with 58,000 Australian dollars. So I worked 2 jobs flat out for like a year and a half. For the most time I was in Sydney. I didn't see any of my friends and my family. I was working crazy hours because I was like, I need to save to move to London. And obviously I never have like a backstop to like live with my parents, so I had to like work 2 jobs full time to be able to use one job to cover my bills, and then the other job I would just save everything. So then I spent about 5k going to Canada on the way here. I went and saw my friend in Vancouver and went snowboarding for 2 weeks just to like relax before, like have a holiday before I actually moved to the UK. Here's vitamin C. And then I would say I spent about 20k, this is all in Australian dollars, 20,000 Australian dollars setting myself up in London. So the first month I got here, my visa got so stuffed up. They lost my visa. So for a month I couldn't work. I had no like share code to work, which was so annoying because I'd done everything right. They had just lost my visa. I had a job on the second day I arrived in here in a restaurant. So for a month I had to cover bills in London with no income. So also, when you move here, you usually need a deposit and like 2 months rent up front. So that's about like £3,000, that's 6,000 Australian. So 20,000 Australian sounds like a lot, but it really isn't when you convert it to pounds. It's only 10,000 pounds. So yeah, I spent about 20,000 pounds setting myself up, moving into a place. Like food gets expensive when pretty much when you're not earning money and you're living, life is expensive. And then I spent about $12,000 last year on Europe travel, which 100% do not regret. I loved it. And so pretty much I would say come with as much money as you can, like save, because honestly, it will make your experience less stressful. I think I've got to the point now where I'm going on the lower side of my money, and it's definitely not as enjoyable. I'm a lot more kind of stressed about money. So my tip number one would definitely be bring a lot of money, because London is expensive. So now I'm just gonna straighten my hair. So pretty much I would bring 20,000 Australian dollars to set yourself up. That's deposit for a room, a few months rent, food when you get here, TFL, the tube here is so expensive, and just kind of like a buffer for if it takes you a while to get a job. So 20,000 Australian to set yourself up, and then I would bring an additional 15,000 Australian or 20,000 Australian, depending how much travel you want to do, to then use that fund as your savings, and then you pick away at your savings to book your travel. Because unless you have like an amazing paying job and you're like a doctor or a lawyer here, the wages in UK are really not the best. So you can dip into those savings and book your Europe travel, and then you just use your wage to live off on. So that's the figures I would recommend. Obviously it's different for everyone, but yeah, I hope that gives you guys some clarity or some idea on what to save to move to London. So guys, I just did my hair. Now I'm walking to the train station because I'm gonna go grab a coffee with my brother, and he lives in Shoreditch. So I'm just gonna go to the tube, get on the tube, and go to Shoreditch.
Asking for help, but nothing seems to work on you. Yeah, you always make me feel like okay. You never leave my thoughts alone.
Okay guys, I'm just walking to my brother's now, and my second tip is looking for a place to stay. So the best things to go on is Mate's Place, which is like a Facebook group, and Spare Room. So Spare Room, you can like post an ad about yourself and where you're from and like what you're looking for and your price. I recommend paying for the subscription, so then when people put a new ad up, you can reply to them straight away. If you don't pay for the subscription, you have to wait like 3 days to then like apply for the room. And accommodation in London is so competitive and it's so expensive, so you might miss out on a really good one for a good price and a good location because you didn't pay for the subscription. And also like lining up like quite a few viewings in the day. I used to line up 6 and I would only go to 3 because agents would cancel. They'd say, oh, I can't do it anymore. So it's better to line up more and then be like, oh, I'm running half an hour late, because you know, you kind of like mess them around, they mess you around sort of thing. But if you only like line up 1 or 2 for the day and then one of them cancels, then you only look at one that whole day, and you've got that whole day to like look at accommodation, and you only looked at one, and there might be 200 other people looking at that place, so you're like going up against a lot of odds. And the best thing to do is, as soon as it's like you apply and they're interested in having you, is to like go view it the next day. Be like, I'm free, I'm ready, I can come see at 10 AM, and then be like, look, I can pay the deposit, I can pay the rent, like 2 months rent up front, and really like sell yourself, because like I said, it's competitive. There's going to be 20 other people behind you trying to get that room, so the best thing you can do is kind of make it easier for them. So that would be like my second tip on moving to London. I was really lucky. I went up against 200 other girls and I prayed to the gods and I got it. And I live in a really good area, like central London, but I do live like in a council house, so it's super run down. But then you've just got to like weigh up what's important to you. Like, do you want to live in like a really nice bougie area, but you want to live like an hour out of London? Or do you want to live in like a oldish run down house, but be in the heart of everything? So, yeah. Moving on the vlog here.
Good. Good.
There's Morocco perfume.
Nice, lovely.
Guys, back with Frost vlog. We're off to the flower market to get him a plant for his house. He's gonna pick out a really nice plant for their flat.
You're the reason I can't get out my head. I just can't stop thinking about you.
So you put in that one, you put this in the ground.
We're in for us at our local coffee shop in Shoreditch, getting our coffee. Still the best coffee in Shoreditch. Cheers. First coffee of the day.
Some sides.
We're just having our coffees here, me and Fruss, and we're planning our first trip together. How special! Fruss has invited me on one of his trips. So stay tuned in April for the destination. I'm so excited. It's been on my bucket list for the longest time ever, and I never thought I'd be able to go, and I'm going in April.
Something in my brain wants you. I've been thinking for myself, asking for help, but nothing seems to work on you.
Thank you.
You always make me feel like okay.
Guys, I just got my coffee from Euston Station. Okay, my third tip is make sure you come with a international bank account. So like I had Revolut, because when I got here my visa got messed around and I had to wait a month for my residency card to get delivered. And when you open a bank in UK, they're quite strict. They need you to like have your name on utility bills, but if you're only renting a room, you're not going to be on utility bills. Or you get proof of residence or proof of address from your residency card. So you need your residency card and your proof of address to open a bank account. But mine took so long to come, so then it took ages, like 2 months to open a bank account. So luckily I had Revolut, which I could use from my Australian savings, put that into here, and it didn't cost me like lots of fees every time I used it here. So I really recommend coming with Revolut. You can also sign up and get Monzo when you come here, but I got declined for that. I don't know why. So recommendation is come with like a bank account that's international that you can use here, and then I can just transfer my Aussie savings into pounds. And that's what I used for the first 2 months I got here, because it took so long to open a bank account here. They're like really strict on it. And the bank account I did end up opening with, which was the easiest, was Lloyd's and Starling. So yeah, tip number 3. So guys, I'm home with my coffee, and my 4th tip I actually just thought of. And when I first moved to London, I couldn't understand anywhere. London is like 10 cities in one big city. There's all these different little pockets of London that are like a little city themselves. You've got like Shoreditch, you've got like Chelsea, you've got like Euston, you've got like Soho, Mayfair, you've got like Hackney, like you've got all these little pockets. You've got like Kensington, and so what I found was really helpful is the app City Mapper. Everyone told me to use it, and at the start I found it really hard to understand, but that's City Mapper, and it's pretty much tells you tubes, trains and buses, and like the best fastest route to get round, and then if there's train strikes it will show you like an alternative route when there's train strikes. So City Mapper is a must. I tell anyone who even comes visit London, use City Mapper, because it's really good. Like it will tell you like when the next train is, which way it's going and stuff like that. Like once you get the hang of it, it's really good. So guys, it's 5 o'clock and I'm gonna make my burgers. So my 5th tip for moving to London is like as soon as you get here, get a job, like any sort of job. So when I first moved here, I got like a hospitality job. Obviously my visa really screwed me because they lost my visa, so for the first month I couldn't work because I couldn't get my share code. I was lucky enough to get a corporate job like a month since I arrived to London. So then I only worked 2 shifts at the restaurant and then I left. but London's job market is so competitive, and there's literally like 500 people going for a job that has one position. So you have to really stand out from the crowd. It's also about like networking in London. I feel like a lot of jobs are given to people if they like know people who've worked for that company, or someone's put a good word in for them. So London is really about networking, which is quite hard to do when you first arrive in London because you don't know anyone and you're not set up here. So I really recommend like getting a hospo job and just getting cash flow so you don't dig into your savings, and then on your time off apply for corporate jobs. That's what I did, and I was lucky enough to pick up a corporate job the first month I got here, because I was really not digging working in a restaurant. And the hiring process in London is so long. So like the hiring process is like a month and a half before you could, from when you apply for the job to when you get the job and start your job. So you also have to counter that time factor into your budget and your money. So it is a longer process. Back home in Australia, you go to the job interview, you have the interview, you might have one other interview, and then you'll be offered the job or declined. Here, there are sometimes like 5-stage interviews. You do like, you apply for the job, you get shortlisted, you have a Zoom interview, you then have a second round interview, and then you have an literally snapped my nail. And then you have like an in-person interview, and then at the 5th stage they will either offer you the job or not, but you have to get through all those steps as well. You could get to the second round of interview and they'd be like, no, we don't want you. So yeah, you really have to like hustle and try really hard to secure a job. But I've made my burgers now. I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. I hope you found some of the information useful, some of the tips. It's just from my experience in London. And if you guys enjoyed this video and you want more content like this, comment below. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next vlog. Bye!
Wanna be just like you.